Hi, welcome to Low Income Dreams. I'm your host, Sean.
What you doing?
I'm recording a show.
Ooh, I want to help. Hi, I'm your host, Nadia.
No, I'm the host.
Oh, okay. Today's guest is... Hey, that's me!
Author, artist, Nadia Reddy. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Low Income Dreams. I'm your host, Sean Reddy, and this is my lovely co-host, Nadia Reddy, who we'll be interviewing today.
Yeah! What's up, guys?
Yeah. Nice little introduction here. Nadia is not only my beautiful wife, but she is also an author, an illustrator, and an artiste.
Oh, you make me blush.
I know. I'm the best husband. I know. So, Nadia, just like how we ask all of our other friends and family and guests that join on this show, what is the dream and how far are you on your journey?
I have so many dreams. The biggest one, and you know this, was to be with you. I know. And that's the end of this interview. But it was, so Sean and I actually grew up together. I don't know where to look.
Okay. Everyone has that issue.
Do I look here?
You look anywhere, wherever you want. If you want to jump on my camera, you're more than welcome to, too.
So Sean and I, we grew up together. Our parents, they were friends. Our dads played soccer together.
Mm-hmm.
So we just naturally were playdates from a very young age. Actually, we met the week after I was born.
Yeah.
I was born November 11th. We met November 18th.
Yeah, I remember that day. I
know
remember
you
like it was yesterday.
If you remembered it, you'd remember that you didn't like me. He did not like me because his mom, you were their son and they didn't have a girl. So your mom gave me a lot of attention and you apparently did not like that. That's how she remembers our first meeting. He was just kind of like, who's this baby?
Way to keep it positive, Nadia. Way to keep it positive.
And so we had play dates, and when I was the earliest I remember, I think I was like 7, and I was like, I love that boy. And then after that, I just wanted to be with you. Yes. I wanted you to be my first kiss, my first boyfriend.
You watch a lot of Disney.
Yeah, I think that's really what it was. I love Disney.
A lot of Disney.
Yeah, and so I wanted my Prince Charming, and that happened. And then after that, it was just like we had all these shared dreams, and we found out who we were as individuals, and then we figured out what we wanted for ourselves. And for me, I want to be a writer. I write children's books. They are all back there. I have 3 so far, and I just released a new one, A Cozy Winter Day. I have it here with me. Cozy Winter Day. I wrote this book just for me because I love winter and I love being cozy.
Yeah, it's a good book. It's a nice little story compared to like the other books that you had, because your first book was Mr. Green, the Party Iguana.
Yeah. And
then your second book was Tiki ABC.
Yeah, so a short story that's rhyming. And
right. Then like an alphabetical book. Right, for like the really young ones. Yeah. And now you have a
storybook.
A story. Yeah, actually like a legit story from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I wanted to actually dig into a little bit, was because you didn't really know that you were going to be an author and illustrator. You kind of just dove into it because you took a class, and one of the class assignments was to create an original children's book.
Yeah, so I was taking a children's book illustration class at Chabot College with Professor Janice Galayu, great professor.
Chabot. That's where Tom Hanks went.
Yeah, and I love Janice Galayu. She really she pushed us to be the best artist and in this case, the best author that we could be, because we were given the option. She said you could either write and illustrate your own book, or you can have somebody else write it, but you have to do the illustration, because it was children's book illustration class. And so I chose to do both, and I wrote this book, Mr. Green the Pirate Iguana, for you, because the year before you lost your pet iguana, Mr. Green. He died the year before, and I felt really bad. I didn't know how to help you but I knew that you weren't over it. So I wanted to help you to kind of come to terms with that.
Yeah.
And then I gave you the book, and you were like, this needs to be in bookstores.
Yeah. No, it was awesome. And then it just so happened that I was working for Disney at the mall, New Park Mall. And there was a new bookstore that popped up, and I went in there with this big book with spiral bound, like almost like a notebook, basically spiral bound.
It looked like a presentation.
Yeah. And I went up there and I spoke to him, and I was like, how can we get this in your bookstore? And they were like, first off, that's not going to be in the bookstore. You got to make it professional. And I was like, what do you mean? And then they gave me the whole rundown. I went back to Nadia, and I was like, yo, we got to make this thing happen. And then it just took off from there.
Yeah, we looked into self-publishing, figured out, because the main thing was they were like, we need a spine on your book that has the text, that says Mystery and the Pirate Iguana, Nadia Reddy, and that way they could put on the shelves. And they love the story. But they were like, we can't put it spiral bound. So we figured out how to do that, and then I had my first book signing.
Yeah.
And we sold out.
Sold out. It was awesome.
I don't even know how that happened, but it was a lot of family support. Thank you I still remember everyone that came. Thank you guys.
Yeah. And then I think also, but then after that, you start looking into events, and one of I would say the most successful events that you were a part of in the early stages of your little writing and illustration career was the illustrators illustrator event at the Sun Gallery?
Yeah, so every year the Sun Gallery, which is in Hayward, they have a children's book illustrator show.
Okay.
Actually, I took a field trip when I was taking the class to that show, and I was like, I want to be in this show one day. And then 4 years later, it happened. I went to the Sun Gallery. I did not follow the submission process at all, because they were like, mail in your book. We'll let you know if we want it. And I was just like, they're right around the corner. I'm just going to go there with my book. I went there. And Shar, she was working there at the time. She loved it. She said, I'll pass it down to the gallery director, which is Dorsey. And if you guys ever go there, say hi to Dorsey. And Dorsey loved it. She called me. She said, we'd love to have you in the show. And I've been in the show ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I want to take a minute really quick to let you guys know that the Sun Gallery is a sponsor of this episode of Low Income Dreams.
Yep.
Yes, the Sun Gallery is located on East Street in Hayward, California. And the Sun Gallery believes in building community through creativity and welcomes audience of all ages to enjoy the exhibits, which are always changing. And I want you guys to know that the Sun Gallery offers free art Saturday for all ages every second and fourth Saturday of the month. You guys can go there, learn how to do something for free, and take home your art. It's a really great program, and just visit them. They're in Hayward. Visit them.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, support your local, galleries and museums and stuff. Because that's one thing I like about the Sun Gallery, because you walk in there, and they have stuff from all ages that's hanging on the wall. It's from kids, part of their camp programs. They have their stuff up, and then and then you have students or other young youth that are trying to make their own books that you actually helped out one time with your kids from your after school program. You helped them make a book, and then you have adults that are doing all genres of books, and you get to see it all. Not only do you see the books physically, but then you actually see all the artwork too. The digital ones, the hand drawn ones. The paintings. It's really cool.
Actually, the next illustrator show is coming up. I believe it starts in January. You guys can visit sungallery.org to find out more, but we're preparing. I've got all my illustrations framed, and I'm going to have my books in the show, and you guys can come and check out all these amazing author illustrators. Some of them are strictly just illustrators, but please come to the show and check it out. It's really worth seeing.
Yeah. And then speaking of illustrations and stuff, you've been doing more artwork now.
Yes.
Which is really cool to see, because I truly feel that you are 100% in peace when you're drawing, because
am.
I could be watching a movie or a game or playing video games or whatever the case may be, and then Nadia is literally right back there on that counter, just drawing away with her headphones on, watching Friends or
Yeah.
or Once Upon a Time or something. And she's quiet like a mouse. Like half the time, I think that she passed out over there, but I turned around and she's just drawing away.
Yeah, actually, there were times when I would be drawing. Like, I remember for TKBC, I would get so immersed into my illustrations that I would fall asleep at the dining room table. We were living with my parents at the time.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
I would draw at the dining room table, and I would pass out there, and then I'd wake up and just keep drawing. Like, that's how much I love it. But I have been working on some new stuff. Like this one, I just did yesterday because J.R.R. Tolkien's birthday's coming up, and I wanted to do a little fan art piece because I love The Hobbit. So here we have Gandalf and Bilbo Baggins just chilling, smoking their pipes. They are ready for an adventure. I love this piece so much. And then I've been doing commissions.
Yeah.
I do commissions. So if you'd like a custom piece, message me through my website. If you are a friend of mine, message me through Facebook or just text me. Just be like, yo, can you draw this? And I'll let you know if I can.
Yeah.
But this one is the most recent commission. This is Gantu from Lilo and Stitch. He's carrying Cozy Merida from the new Pixar movie, Wreck-It Ralph 2. Wait, is that Pixar or is that Disney?
What are you talking about?
Merida? No, the movie, Wreck-It Ralph 2.
What? Why are you talking about Wreck-It Ralph?
Because...
Oh yeah. Oh, you're talking about when they're all that's Pixar. That's when they're all in the little.
Okay, then
room.
I got it right. So Cozy Merida, because she was in there, she was just like. Blah, 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 blah. Do you remember that or no? I feel like you don't remember.
No, I do remember that.
And so
I just got confused because I was like, she's from Brave. Like I was so sidetracked right now. I was like, what are you talking about?
You are not a true Disney. Get out of here. So Gantu's got Merida. She's in a sack, and he's carrying her like a present. And then he's got a bunch of presents here. So this is a commission that I did. And then this one, I love Westerns. Like, that's my shit. And so one of my favorites is The Hateful Eight, along with anything by Clint Eastwood, pretty much. Hang 'em High, Two Mules for Sister Sarah.
Yeah.
The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I could just go on and on. But I love Samuel L. Jackson's character. And so I wanted to draw him. And so I drew him. And then this one is my favorite, and it's also your favorite.
That is actually my favorite.
Yes. But I love this piece. It's Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I made him into a featherhead. I do these characters. I paint them and I draw them. And they're called featherheads. And they have these crazy eyes, and they have feathers. And their mouth is usually sewn shut. And they have like these little beads and strings hanging down. And they just look crazed, and they're doing crazy things, and it's so fitting for Mr. Toad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm doing fan art commissions and just whatever characters I love, because that's what I grew up doing. Is I grew up just drawing my favorite cartoon characters.
Yeah, actually, it was so cool because yesterday, you actually went through one of your old binders that your mom gave you as a kid to encourage you to draw, and you had all this artwork.
Yeah.
That you had.
Yeah.
And
should I grab the binder?
I mean, if you want.
Sure. It's like literally right
Okay.
there.
Yep. All right. Ow. I should play some Jeopardy music during this portion of the interview. You know.
One of my books just fell. That's okay. You guys already saw them. I think my wind. Oh, it's Mr. Green. So when I was starting out drawing, I used to go to Hot Topic a lot, and Amy Brown was one of my favorite artists, and she would draw these fairies. And back when Hot Topic was metal, they would have her artwork there, and I would pick up her postcards, and I would go home, and I would draw them. And so my mom bought this, also from Hot Topic, for me, this Tinkerbell binder, which I still have. And this was like 16 years ago that she bought this. And she put all these like plastic sleeves in it to keep my artwork like nice. And so I have everything here. And yesterday I organized it by date just to see like the progress. And this was the earliest one, was Jessica Rabbit and Roger Rabbit. And this was just like a quick outline. And but my best drawing when I figured out like, oh, I can actually really do this, was this one, which is from the game Grand Theft Auto Vice City. My mom bought it for me, and I saw this character, and I was like, I'm going to try to draw him, and I drew him, and I was like, wow, this is really good. I want to keep doing this.
Did your mom know what she was buying you?
I don't think so. It's just that I think I got away with a lot because I was an only child. So, you know, when I wanted something, she was like, well, it's going to keep you, you know, busy, and you're going to be happy and have fun. And so, but I mean, like, I'm not out there, you know, running whores over and I was looking for the word hooker, and the word whores came out.
Oh, out of everything about that game, that's the first thing that came to your mind.
I know, because that's like what the first, yeah. I'm not out here doing missions for like Vice City people. I don't know.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like I'm revisiting when I really found myself, because I found myself as an artist, and I was like, wow, this is something I really enjoy doing.
You have a good theory about following dreams and goals, which we had this conversation where you said that basically everything you have done from since you were little till later in life kind of leads you to that path of your goal.
Yeah, I truly believe that when we're kids, we already know who we are, you know, and we're so comfortable just being ourselves. And we figure out the things that we love to do that we can spend hours and hours doing without any complaint, but yet we lose that. And my thing that I could spend hours and hours doing was drawing. And I never want to lose that. So I continue to do it no matter what. And I feel like if you are ever struggling with figuring out what it is that you're supposed to do with your life, just look back to when you were a kid. What is it that you spent hours doing that brought you bliss and peace? And that's probably what you are meant to do.
Yeah. I spent hours goofing around.
You would spend hours reading Mad Magazine, watching Tom Green. You watched SNL, Comedy Central. I know
Mad
all this
TV,
because
actually.
I stalked him when
Mad
we were
TV
kids.
was the best.
Yeah.
I still vouch for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you spent hours watching that, and now you're actually performing.
And now you're spending
But your
hours.
interview's over. We're not talking about you.
I was gonna say, well, that's what I was trying to transition towards you. I was gonna say you spend hours watching Bob Ross. So
I do. I used to wake up in the morning and I would watch him, and then one day I tried to do a painting, and it came out really good.
Yeah, no, it came out great.
I sold that painting. No, I didn't sell it. I gave it to somebody because they helped me out at a flea market show that we were doing, and you know, as a gift, I was like, "Here, take this.
Yeah.
Put it in your house."
Yeah, no, but that's the thing. I mean, you are very creative because not only are you doing like the illustration, the art, and the painting and all that, but you like building stuff. Like you made the little fairy garden, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like you're into
a
miniature
model of a fairy garden.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see how like with your hands, your talents, like you could do all this type of stuff, and you could cook, which is a big thing because I can't cook. So.
Well, I mean, the saying goes, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything, and that's true. Like if you sit there and before you even try to do it, you're like, I can't do that. I mean, we changed a headlight. We changed my headlight on my car. Because I was like, we're not going to go to the shop. We could do this. And we looked up YouTube videos and we figured it out and we did it. And now I have 2 headlights.
Yeah, 2 headlights.
Which is good because I hate getting pulled over.
Oh, shit.
But you can, like, if you really want to do something and you focus enough, maybe it won't be as perfect as you want it to be, but you'll still have some sort of result.
Yeah. No, that's I believe in that too. I believe in that because we take that same mindset with our Disneyland trips. We're like, yo, one day we're gonna go to Disneyland. Next thing you know, we're going there like every other month.
Yeah. And I truly believe that if you put something out into the universe, like I've already put out to the universe, I want to create a sustainable household. We're working towards that. I want to make a living off of my art and my books. That hasn't happened yet, but
let's get in there.
I've been putting it out there. I want to go see a Packers game in Wisconsin. I put that out there. And then one of the biggest ones, though, is when we went to Disneyland. And if you guys have been to Disneyland, above the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, there's the Dream Suite. And you have to go through a raffle lottery process or something to stay at that dream suite?
Oh, no, actually, what it is, it's they do a lot of charity events.
Yeah.
So it's like a Make a Wish.
Okay.
Or if you go to like some high end charity event, then you could definitely, yeah, you can win a raffle. But you cannot go and like be like, hey, I'm Johnny Depp and I want to stay there. They're like, I'm sorry, I know you have all the money in the world, but you could dress like Captain Jack.
But you can go to Club 33.
Yeah, you
but
can go Club 33.
Do you remember that day when we were in line?
Yeah.
We saw people going in, I think, or coming out of the
Those
dream
people,
suite.
those people walking out, and they were just like chilling, and
On the balcony.
they actually looked like they were guests there, like they were actually staying there. So we're like, oh, what? And then that's when we started talking to other. This is when we first kind of like started diving into Disney. We started talking to other people, and they're like, oh yeah, you could stay up there and all that type of stuff. And then we started figuring out that you could do certain events and be a part of it, or whatever. But then you're like, man, I want to go in there one day.
And then I said, we're going to go in there one day.
Yeah.
And we did. We took the Walk in Walt's Footsteps tour.
Yeah, which is it's interesting because that particular tour, you could either go to Walt's apartment, which I really wanted to do, or you could go to the Dream Suite. And then when we signed in and everything, we're like, oh, what's going to be our end of the tour? And they're like, oh, the Dream Suite. We're like, oh, what? Like, oh, that's pretty cool. And boy, was that amazing.
It was so much fun. It's so beautiful in there. Oh my God. I would have never imagined. Every room is themed different. But the point that I was trying to make is like,
Put it out there.
Yeah, you put it out there and you really believe it and it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, same thing because, you want to travel, doing events and stuff, and because of your books, we've been to San Diego.
Yeah, I made my own book tour.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
It was
and
dope.
you booked all these events, and then we just went and hit them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we're in then we went
Washington.
to Washington, yeah, Portland, and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
like it's been really fun, and then doing like smaller events too, like the Tiki Marketplace, and that's just in LA, and and those are all just fun events.
I had a book signing at
yep.
Smuggler's Cove. I was trying to say Smuggler's Cove and signing, and it was like Smuggler.
Which let's talk about that because you really thought outside the box. For those of you that doesn't know what Smuggler Cove is, it's basically like a rum bar or a tiki bar. That's in San Francisco, and remind you the key word there is bar. And
Best bar ever.
And Nadia decided to reach out to them and hold a children's book event at a bar.
For adults only, by the way. Yeah, it was a 21 plus children's book signing at Smuggler's Cove Rum Tiki Bar in San Francisco. And when we got there, I was like, this is a great idea. And then we got there and I was freaking out. I was like, who the hell is going to come to a 21 and up book signing for a children's book at a bar? And we ended up doing amazing.
Yeah.
I was blown away. I was like, did we really just sell that many books today? Like,
yeah, it was awesome. Now, what was the thought process behind that? Like to go and reach out to these bars?
Well, Tiki ABC was the first Tiki children's book in the world, and I was like, well, the only thing that is really out there is like Tiki bars. There's nothing Tiki for kids. So I was like, how am I going to get this book into the hands of Tiki people who have children in their lives, whether it's their children or their nephews, nieces, friends, kids? And so I was like, I got to go to Tiki bars. I got to go where Tiki people are at. Tiki bars, Tiki conventions. And so I was like, I'm just going to reach out. I reached out to, I think, 3 or 4 bars, and 2 of them, Forbidden Island in Alameda.
Which is also,
yeah.
So we had our, what was it? Our
bachelorette party.
Yeah.
Before we got married, we had a joint bachelorette party there. And we loved that bar. And so we had the Smuggler's Cove signing, and then we had the Forbidden Island signing, and they both did very well.
Yeah.
And it was the first time that anything like that had ever happened.
And that was the cool thing, because whether it was the owners or the managers that helped you organize those events, their enthusiasm, their excitement just made it that much more better.
Yeah.
Because they're super supportive, and it's just...
Which surprised me, because I was like, they're going to say no, but I'm going to take a chance. And so I say, you have to try. You have to try, because you don't know what the result is going to be, but you will have a result.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I forget how I'm the worst at sayings, and I try my best to memorize sayings, but it's something along the lines of you won't know until you try, or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's basically what I just said.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's why you locked me down.
I did.
But yeah, no, but you're absolutely right, because if you didn't take those steps, you would have never known how successful these book events are. But then on top of it all, like each of those events, then you learned about other events. Like
Yeah.
it's all like networking,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's how you start finding out about like all the other tiki conventions and stuff.
And my favorite con was Tiki Con, because with that one, Kim Han, Chef Kim Han, she's one of our sponsors. You guys
Yeah.
can check out classcooking.com to learn more about her. But she invited us up. She was like, hey, and Tiki people are the best.
Yeah,
I just
they
want to
are.
say that. They are the best. She was like, come stay with us. You can share our suite. Because I was too late to be a vendor. I emailed TikiCon and they were like, well, it's kind of too late. But she reached out and she was like, come stay with us. We will provide you with a space in our suite for their wine. And we were like, okay. So we went there. We had a place to stay. And
Yeah.
she was sharing the suite. We had a successful event. We ran out of books.
Yeah. Burn bridges, yeah.
And we made these wonderful connections. Like, I love the Mahan family so much. Shout out to the Mahan family. You guys are amazing. And thank you so much for all that you did.
And the wines were amazing too.
Yeah, and Greg and Justin were amazing. They are the ones who are in charge of TikiCon. They took over, and they just did such an amazing job with. I think all the vendors were extremely happy, and just
And all the people
overall-
too.
Yeah,
It
and
was
everyone they
so
were just
cool.
having a great time.
Yeah, it was such a fun event. I mean, and then those type of events, like you start networking, and then from Tiki Con, they went to Tiki Oasis,
Yeah.
and then the cool thing about Tiki Oasis was when you had someone come up to you and ask you about if you do commission pieces.
Yeah. And that was unexpected. Kendrick, shout out to Kendrick. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. He came right in on Saturday. Was it Saturday or Sunday?
It
Saturday.
was because it was a 3-day event, so we were there
Yeah.
for the first day, and then he came in the second day, right in
Yeah.
the morning.
It was crazy. The doors open. He came straight to our table. He's like, "Are you still doing commissions?" And I said, "Sure, yeah." Because nobody had asked me, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be my first commission! Like, this is exciting!"
Yeah.
And so I went back to the hotel. I had all my art supplies with me, just in case if that did happen, and just
Yeah.
to draw. And I drew my first commission of Merida hula dancing and
Yeah.
looking confused. I'll find a photo of that, and then we can throw that up.
Mhm.
Okay, we're throwing it up. All right. Pause for effect. And then he loved the piece so much he ordered another one. And then this one is actually, I said I want to throw one in on the house because he told me about the Once Upon a Time, which
Yeah.
is a TV show that I love. Right there's Regina. She is the evil queen in Once Upon a Time. It's a Disney show where pretty much all the Disney characters are come to life and you learn about their stories. So he told me about this convention, and I went there, and I had the time of my life.
Yeah, it
And
was such a
we
blast. It
got
was
to
on your
meet
birthday
her.
too.
Yeah, we got to meet her and another character in the show. And as a thank you, because I'm very appreciative to those who are supportive, I said, I'm going to do a free commission for you. Tell me what you want. And so this is what he wanted. And this is for free on the house by me to him. And yeah, and that's how my commission
But that's the
started.
thing. Amazing. That's just amazing how all that connected together. though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Meeting all these wonderful people, like you just never know what's gonna happen, and it's a beautiful thing, like what comes into fruition out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have anything coming up next now?
I do. So I have the Sun Gallery Illustrator Show where my books will be featured and my original artwork will be there. I will be there for an artist reception. Check out my page. I will be promoting it because I can't think off the top of my head when it is. It's in February. It is in February. So if you guys would like to come through, please follow me on my social media and you guys can keep up to date with events. And I am trying to just book other events right now for 2019. I have some original art at Green Machine Comics, actually similar to these pieces. So if you liked any of these, please visit Green Machine Comics at New Park Mall, and they have some of my artwork in their artist corner. I love Green Machine Comics, by the way. I just want to
they're
give a
awesome.
shout out to them because
They are awesome.
Yeah, they are a big supporter of artists and their community.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is nowadays you don't really have a lot of businesses that are tied into the community like how they
Yeah.
are. And even though they're still a fairly new shop, but they already have done so much already for independent and local artists, which is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then so yeah. I mean, it's been a fun journey, just been seeing your growth and seeing all the places it went and networked and everything. Because for the longest time, Nadia was just in her little shell,
Yeah.
and she was very shy, like a little mouse.
I don't
And
think
then
I think people are not shy. It's just that once they find something that they're passionate about, then they want to scream it out to the world.
yeah,
And
it makes sense.
that was me with with Mr. Green. You encouraged me to do that, but then with TKABC, that was a very if you buy the book, it tells you the story of why I wrote this book, and so it means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to share it with the world, and I figured out, my heart figured out a way to help me do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. So now, with that being said, um, what advice would you give to anyone that's watching this that either wants to be an author or illustrator or just an artist?
The first thing I would say is work on your craft because it's very important to practice. You can see how much my drawings evolved from this to this, and that's all because of years and years of practice. So practice your craft. Writing, if you want to be a writer, I'm not the greatest writer, but I'm going to go ahead and quote what every other writer says, and that's read and write a lot because that makes sense. And then finally, it's if you're having trouble just finding what you want to do, like I've already said, think back to when you were a kid or a teenager. Think about, and maybe not a teenager because there were things that we would want to do. I'm not even going to go there. Think back to when you were an innocent child.
Well, I think no. Hold on. Hold on. I think you have to include the teenage years too, because those are all life lessons that you're learning.
What did you want to do for hours on end when you were a teenager?
I goofed around. I goofed around a lot. You know, I cracked jokes. I BS'd a lot. And look, now I get to BS on stage.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, look, I mean, not to make this interview about me now, but my new bit that I have, right, which is a very adult joke, but those are jokes that we used to make in class, right?
Oh yeah, okay.
So
yeah, that's
and
true.
I used to get in trouble, but now I get paid for it.
Well, think back to before you were an adult and you were like, "What am I doing?" And just think about the things that brought you joy and peace, and you know, there's probably something in that you are meant to do, or that you know you want to do, you truly want to do. So follow your heart is what I'm trying to say. Follow your heart.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think that sums it up here.
Yeah.
I think this was it was a nice opener to everyone to get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah. And if there's anything that you guys didn't understand, you're like, what the hell are they talking about here? Just leave a comment and I'll clarify, or reach out to us somehow and I'll clarify what I was talking about.
Yeah. And then follow up with Nadia. Check out her website, NadiaReddy.com.
Yep.
And to see future events here in the Bay Area or out of state.
You can buy my art there, my books there too.
Exactly. That's the place to go. And then follow her on all the social media platforms that she's on. Yep. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that jazz. And then for those of you that are new to Low Income Dreams, thank you for tuning in. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Give it a thumbs
up. And follow all the social media platforms as well too for updates and stuff like that. And then finally, if you would like to support Low Income Dreams, we do have a Patreon account where you could go on there. There's like extra behind the scenes footage and stuff that we'll be posting up, so that way you get some exclusive stuff for supporting us. And then we just thank you, and we appreciate you guys taking time out and listening to this interview. And we have more to come. And yeah, thank you.
And Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. This will be in 2019. Yep. So it'll be the start of the 2019.
Yep.
And hopefully 2019 becomes the year of more goals and achievements.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.